Let's do it. Let's get this thing on like neck bones.
Off the show, like, let's go.
Hey, yeah, you feel me? I'm ready. I'm hyped. Let's go. Let's do it. I got the power team. I'm like, damn.
All right. So what we want to do is there's 11 picks, and it's impossible for us to go over 11 picks. So what I want to start off with would be just give me your top 3 guys or top 5 guys, but we can short it down to top 3 guys and what your expectations of them and these sorts of things, so that we can get things going in the right direction. Boss, break it down for me, man. Who's your top 3 guys and how they gonna add input to this team, value to this team?
Man, I didn't know you was gonna go in that direction. So.
Man, I'm starting from the bottom. I like
that though. You already got me on my toes. So obviously we gonna start with Parsons. That's number 1. Number 2 would definitely be Boss Man. Anybody that played good against the Heisman winner, and they're gonna match up. That's gonna be a rival. They're gonna battle each other. And I like that I got one the last one. So. So I look at that matchup and I feel really good about that. I would say I really pray that people just wrap their arms around him and let him know about the politics of Dallas, because people looking for him to make any kind of mistake. They looking to point the finger. So he need friends. He need real friends, and he need big brothers in that locker room. So third and easy is my Stanford receiver. Absolutely. Positively. I wrote 2 articles about us needing a supersized Dak-friendly weapon for 2 years straight, and we got him. And that's the combination of a route runner and somebody with possession skills. We've been needing that. So it's going to be a steep hill for him, but if he can win out in preseason, please put him on the roster and start moving him up, because that's the red zone guy we've been looking for.
So you immediately put him in the red zone category opposed to like any other situation, right?
Nah, he's a route runner, so he's somebody that can just win. And he's fast, and he's big. So it's exactly what I've been looking for. It's hard to find somebody that has all those traits, because usually you get somebody that's going to be a possession guy or a great route runner. When you get somebody that's both and you put him with Dak, and they gel, because Bryce Butler thought he was the number 1 with Dak.
Right.
Hey, you had that one good game, he was productive with that.
The Arizona game, and that 40-winer game.
Right. Yeah.
That's interesting. You brought up Bryce Butler, because that's kind of a decent comp, actually.
Right.
And Bryce was a nice deep threat for that. We had that since Bryce. And I'm not saying Bryce was that dude, but he brought an aspect to the team that we don't have no longer. So that's interesting. That's a nice little comp there.
And he gelled with Dak. And if you gel, just like with Cedric Wilson, I mean, we saw he's not great, but Dak and him were really good together. And you seen him bring out his kind of skills when they turned up in Seattle.
That's why when people say he can't make people better, Dak has made people better.
Shoot, yeah. Don't y'all think it would have been nice if we just got a whole year with Cedric Wilson and Dak instead of that whatever we saw last season?
Dak.
I know, right?
Back in there.
Right.
Hey, man, there's some good threes, man. Just some good observation right there of your guys, man. And we elaborated a little bit longer, man. Big Game James, who your 3 guys are, man?
Yes, obviously, the number 1 would be Michael Parsons. I ain't gonna lie. I think me and Boss, we had a show a long time ago, and we were talking about if we took the linebacker Michael Parsons, would we be mad? We were both like, no, we wouldn't be mad at all if we took Michael Parsons. I was just like, hesitant with the linebacker that early, because I'm like, man, that's pressure. He got to come in and turn up. But dog, I'm gonna just keep it real. When I seen his interview, and I just seen how much his family is all up on Dallas, and I just seen I just feel like that makes a difference. It makes a difference when you actually just love the team. Like he loves, I follow him on Twitter now. He tweeting every 2 seconds about Dallas. He tweeting Cowboys. And And when you see the ability, dog, 6'3", 245, 4'4", dog, and dog, he be coming in there. If they send him in there on blitzes, heat-seeking missiles, and move him all around, just get freaky with him, dog, he could get like 5 sacks, dog. He could go nutty, for real. Like, keep him clean, dog. I'm trying to tell you, I'm excited about that pick. The more I just see it, the more if they just utilize him, and he can make everybody else better. He can make those other linebackers better. That's what I get excited about. I really feel like he can bring that to the table. My second pick I'm going to go with is going to be, I just had his name. Where's he at? The Osa kid. Osa
Odigizua.
Digizua, yes. And the reason why I said, because I was skeptical. Now I'm skeptical on the other couple, but I liked him for the sack. I made a comp, and I'm not saying he's this dude, but you remember Laurent Glover?
You were Glover,
yeah, man. That they built the same. They just built the same, and dog, he can penetrate that middle. Like, I went over and just watched the tape, dog. He relentless, and I like that he relentless. And for real, I played against people that did wrestling and they play football. It's an advantage. It is. If you wrestled and you're in that middle, that hand fighting, it's an advantage, especially it's an advantage when you're smaller. It's an advantage when you're smaller because you can get the technique and you can get up into them and shoot them gaps. So I'm just really excited about him. And it made, unfortunately, Antoine Woods is not with the team any longer, but I felt by them getting him, I felt like he was more expendable now because they have a lot of confidence in him, and I think he can come in and maybe do some stuff. My last guy on the thing is going to be Jabril Cox, and the reason why I'm going with Jabril Cox is he's not a physical linebacker to me, but he's that coverage guy that we do need. He really can cover receivers. He really can cover running backs. He really can cover tight ends. Like, he has that ability. Right. Does he need to get better in tackling? Yes, I think he does. He doesn't take the best angles, but as far as him being able to jump out there and cover guys, I feel like you can throw him in sub packages. You can move him around. You can be flexible with him. And if they ever went with the 3-4 defense, right, and let's say you had Parsons, Van Der Esch, Jalen Smith, and Cox, I wouldn't be feeling bad about that. I would be feeling like, yeah, we about to get up after you if we got something like that. So I hope for all those guys succeed. But I like those three guys as far as my 3 picks.
Well, let me ask you this though, Big Game.
Mm-hmm.
If I was like a person that never watched football, and they say this is how Jerry Jones asked this question too, like, who do you compare?
Oh man, I would have to look at a coverage rangy linebacker. So let me think. Who would be a coverage rangy linebacker? You threw me right on the spot with that.
Oh man, I put you on
why
the 5.
Why you put me on the 5 pan?
Like all of this
Jones. I would maybe say Jones.
People on this panel.
Big game. I'm gonna bail you out. I'm gonna bail you out, bro. If you need me to. Okay, let me know.
Go. Did Kevin Burnett, if I can say, was he pretty good in coverage?
Nah, he was downhill.
Oh, he was downhill?
Yeah.
I thought he was.
He's smaller, but he was still a downhill fast guy.
Give me a cover. Help me out, OC.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you a recent guy that we didn't sign. That when he matures, he's gonna turn into a KJ Wright type, a guy that's adequate in coverage, and that's a good tackler. That's a real good tackler, man. And he's a responsibility guy. So KJ Wright game is not overwhelmingly physical if you really look at him. He's physical enough. He makes tackles, but he's not a blow you up guy. He's a tackle guy, and he's super responsible in coverage and plays great responsibility. And that's what you're gonna see when you look at Jabril Cox over the next couple of years. This is not day one. This is a year, 2 years from now. He's going to develop into that type of player. Very consistent, high tackle guy, very, very consistent guy.
Yeah, you saw that stat out there on him, man.
Right, but Wright's better in the run game now. You hope that Cox develops that type of skill set later on, but I love that comp too.
Oh yeah,
I think Cox gonna be like a special teams player, and then he might be situational. I would love him as a matchup guy.
He's not gonna be
in his career.
No, Mark, boss Cowboy, you way off.
For his career or year one?
He is not gonna be a
situational player, man.
He is not gonna be a special teams player.
Year one, I hear what boss is saying, but as his career, Cox he got talent. Dude is gonna get on the field.
He gonna get on the field. I see situational.
Yeah, he'll be in their packages. Like he won't be a starter. He'll be in packages.
Yeah, and I see, and it's a great chess piece. So when we face Kansas City, That's a beautiful thing to have.
A rangy linebacker.
Rangy linebacker with some good coverage, and then you'll be kind of weaning him into a big position. That's his strength. You know, and we go face tight ends in this division where you need to be able to match up with them. In this division, as we ramping up the other teams, that we might have that war. I mean, I love it for that aspect. It's just that I have to say what it is. He will have to fix that tackling. He will have to. But I think he will. I think Dallas and the pressure of Dallas gonna make him rise.
And here's something that's food for thought, guys, that a lot of people haven't talked about. If you talk about a 3-4 defense, we have 4 linebackers, the 2 inside linebackers in terms of concept. Those guys have to be fast. Those guys have to be able to cover in a 3-4 concept, right? Because they're gonna have to cover at times slot and inside receivers and rubs and short routes, things of that nature. So those guys have to be able to run. Now, if you look at Jabril Cox and you look at some of his SEC tape, and I'll point you guys to some tape on the back end, is this. When they blitzed him, he was very, very good. Right when they gave him a gap and they said, "Hey, you're responsible for this gap. Hit this gap." He made tackles in the backfield, tackles at the line of scrimmage. Now, instinctively, he's not there yet. Absolutely right, Boss Cowboy.
Yeah.
But on run blitzes and when they assign him a particular role, he played responsibility football.
I think he's this man get 8 interceptions, man. Talk to me about that, OC. What's going on, or anybody on this panel? How this man knows how to track the ball.
Before I do want to expand on OC's run. I think he's phenomenal as a backside defender, help guy, as opposed to reading the play and hitting the gap, like you said. Now, if he's blitzing, right? He knows that's where he's going. But if he has to read it, he seems a tick late, and it does seem like he don't want to get involved in that trash.
He's
all
not
the
physical.
time.
He's not
right.
physical.
Which I'm hoping that being around a Parsons and being around some of these other big boys, that it'll come to. I don't think he's soft or anything.
And that
like
star.
I just think that maybe he's just not so sure of himself in the run game, but in that passing game, he seems extremely comfortable and confident.
Oh wow!
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Like I said, when I watch Cox, I just feel like when he had the opportunity to really get up in there, he just doesn't.
Yeah.
Not saying that it's not like he don't want it. It's just like he's just not that physical guy. That some guys just are not physical. But when you see him, it's almost like he gets excited when he's able to run routes with people. It's almost like you can see his playmaking ability because he's watching the ball, because he's actually trying to get that ball as the linebacker. I can't remember what game he played where he played this rub route with this tight end and basically seen the whole route, got the interception, took it right in for the touchdown. That's what gets you excited. And he's 6'3". You know what I'm saying?
And Law, I'm gonna go ahead and answer the question, man. Yeah. Man, I have a vision of this man playing safety.
Not playing
scary. And you go see Law asked Thomas this question. He said, "How did this man get 8 interceptions?" I'm talking about, go look at his North Dakota State tape.
He played that North Dakota State.
And I'm saying to me, everybody keep raving about how you go, but nobody want to actually think about it possibly doing that.
No, they're not going to move that. They already got that down. They already got that guy with South Carolina said, "You going over there?"
Quinn shut that down, boss. That's why the conversation.
See, y'all would have been against Jimmy Johnson when he was moving Woodson linebacker. So y'all would have been, "Oh no, keep him at linebacker. We're not going to do that. We can't do that."
Okay.
All right. The OC
cover. Consider him covering or being a box guy where he'll fit like a glove. It's not that big of a deal to think outside the box like that.
It's not that big of a deal, but it's okay to have a coverage linebacker and have your safeties doing that too.
Yeah, but do you trust the safeties? Come on now.
Casey's not bad. But he's better than what we had.
But line him out deep.
Time out. What are we doing? Are we talking about playing this man at safety year 1?
I'm down with it. Put the man on the field.
He's not gonna even do that. See, you living in fantasy world.
Yeah, we just
the plane.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy. It's super easy to go with the crowd, but I'm talking about when you take a grade.
Don't do that.
You're creative to get the man on the field where everybody say that he's good. Everybody want to shoot at. When we saw that work,
boss, you're calling this man a free safety.
No, I ain't say free. No.
So now you're calling him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Wilson is fine.
But I always told y'all that he versatile. So I'm saying when we trying to get a man on the field, and where he could fit like a glove and get more playing time, you can do that.
You have that man.
You can
right
do
now.
that.
But here's the thing, Raw. Here's the thing. He's a fourth rounder. You ain't got to force him.
Yeah.
Let him learn.
Let me ask you a question. What if he plays better than Neil? What if?
Better than who?
Neil.
Then play him.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, then
because
what?
we got a guy that's versatile
But
already.
Neil is playing linebacker though.
And
Let me get in
plays safety. And he plays safety. Right? Come on now.
Yo,
come on now.
time out.
Go get him, Scott. Get him, get him.
So you telling me you're not gonna groom the youngster to play both? Come on
Come
now.
on, man.
Come on now.
You getting way too amped up off of these off of these rookies. Okay,
No.
Keanu Neal has shown in this league that he could be a Pro Bowl player and has been a Pro Bowl player, an effective player in this league. You think no offense to Jabril Cox, bro, no offense. He's gonna come in here and play better than Keanu Neal, barring injury.
It's possible.
Be realistic.
Not at the linebacker. No, he don't tackle like him. No, and I agree with you on that. That's a hard ask.
Okay,
I'm
saying, so when
I'm
you say
saying, why not groom the youngster Cox just like you have a hybrid Neil? Have a hybrid where you can get more reps with the youngster. You can, but if you just pigeonhole him into a deep linebacker room, you kind of limit your chess piece.
So were you okay with playing Byron Jones back and forth?
No.
What's the difference here?
Exactly what I just said with Neil. Because see, okay, so when we look at the specific piece of Cox and we say, what is he good at? What is he really good at? What do we all say? Say it at the same time. Coverage, right?
So what moving to free then? If that's what
no. Where he's good enough, where he's more hybrid, but he's still gonna be in a covering zone-ish, where he go get in matchups, and you can just kind of play with him right there, because he's a fish in water, and it's acknowledging that. Where we've all saying he needs to work on tackling. So I'm thinking, where can I get this man on the field, right? Give him some reps, maybe some particular matchups to where he match up well. And then if he handling up on the coverage better than Neil, then you developing him. And then you also got your guy Neil more as a true linebacker now in that 3-4.
You're throwing a lot of hypotheticals.
No.
But you
He
started with
earn it.
You started with the definite.
He got to earn it.
You started with the definite. You said he need to play safety. Now you're saying he can need to do both, and now you're saying if he outplays the dude in front of him.
I said you developing him for both. That's what you do, and you can do that. You can make the choice to say, okay, it's a deep room. I want this particular guy. And they also said, he said this on defense, that we looking to be versatile with these guys.
Sure.
So you got to get creative. You got to say, okay, where can we use Cox to his strength? And Cox can cover. He get the ball. So it's like, can we mix him in that? Let's see what he doing preseason. Let's play with it. If he continues to develop, then we experiment more. If he fall off like a rock, then we say, put him in the linebacker room and then let's just let him stay there.
So do linebackers not cover at all?
Yeah, they cover.
So he can just cover at linebacker. You're saying all this as if the linebackers can't cover.
But who covers more? Who covers
okay,
more?
but here's the thing, boss. If they're running
this is not happening. I don't know why we're going so long with this.
Well,
if they're running that 3-4 scheme and them backers are out there, don't they have to play coverage in space?
Yep, hooks
hooks and flats, but it's a lot different. We all know it.
I know we know that, but they're not going to do it. So I don't know why you're.
Well, now it's a possibility. That's why you throw ideas out there. I mean, I'm not trying to be right. It's not about trying to be right. It's about putting an idea out there that you believe in, that you think can actually help us be better. It's that simple.
But I don't think you're going to do it though.
I would jump in and say this real quick, guys. That Neil, it would have been a Pro Bowl safety had he not gotten injured. He already had 3 interceptions in the first 4 games. He went down with an injury. He's a great pickup in safety. He can cover. He can hit. In a 3-4, I mean, oftentimes the safeties do play like linebackers, right? If you're blitzing them, you're bringing them down in the box. They can play like a safety type. But initially, guys, I see him as a linebacker, man. I don't see them flexing him to safety, not this year. That's my opinion.
And let's also be careful with the 3-4. It's 3-4 a little bit. It's going to be a lot of nickel more than anything. And he even said it. He said, we're going to play 3-4 about 25-30% of the time. And that's in base. And the league average is like 71% of the time teams are coming out in 11 personnel or more. So it's not going to be like your traditional 3-4, right? In like 1995, 2001. Right.
but still, let me help with that because there are a lot of variations to the 3-4 defense, right? So whether you have 11 personnel, 12 personnel, 31 personnel, or whether you have spread, you still can give a mimic look of a 3-4, which is the reason why you see a lot of these no declared position guys drafted by the Cowboys, right? Guys that can play multiple positions is my whole point. So you could get a variety of looks because he's saying versatility. If he's saying versatility, then that's telling me this is a week by week decision in terms of how much we play in each package based upon the team that we're playing.
He said that. He pretty much said that. He pretty much said we want to be able to have the players to play against these different style of offenses from week to week, which I've been waiting for. That type of stuff. That's Bill Belichick stuff right there.
Yep.
Man, this is some fantastic stuff. So the OC, can you explain to everyone what is the 3-4 base 4 down lineman? Can you explain where they will be lined up with or at? Will D-Law be standing up? Will he have his hands down in the dirt? Can you explain all of that technique to everybody out there?
Yeah, just a real quick rundown. A 3-4 defense is 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers, right? And everybody is responsible for a gap. So typically you're going to have a guy playing the zero technique, which, we got the 3rd round draft pick. We got the big guy from Kentucky. All those guys could potentially fill in that role. Well, they will have to with the cutting of Antoine Woods. And then you have your outside 5 techniques, right? You have a 0-1 or your 5 techniques. Your 5 techniques typically play right over the tackles, right? And these are guys play tight to the tackles. These are not like a traditional 4-3 defense where they line up wide outside and they're going to sprint upfield and try to, no, these guys are playing responsibility. They're playing the C gap. Then you have your 2 middle linebackers. Well, I would call them 2 middle linebackers for simplicity because I'm trying to paint a picture here. They're going to play the A to the C gap. Then you're going to have your 2 outside backers, the other 2 linebackers that will play the C to the D gap, or just say the C gap, which is outside of the tackle, all the way to the sideline. So they got basically what tackle is to the sidelines. And so because of that variation, you could have a lot of rushes from your linebackers as well if you stunt those big, strong defensive ends inside. So that's when you have a Michael Parsons jack card that's just tremendous, right? Because I would love to see him rush the quarterback as well as play in space. But wherever you play Michael Parsons, that's yet to be determined. We'll figure that out when we get into the preseason. Your defense is faster and you're a whole lot better. Just to give you guys, and the fans, just a quick rundown.
That's good stuff, man. People gonna be doing their homework, looking up A gap and B to the C gap. They're gonna be looking up all of that stuff.
Man, people ain't doing no homework on that. No, we got to put a diagram next time my boss speak. Man, put my diagram up.
Oh yeah, we gonna have to edit that in.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. That's
there you go.
Because that was good stuff. Real good.
And then what they really need to look at is even when the guys that they picked up, Brent Urban and Carlos Watkins, they came out of a 3-4 type defense. Both of those guys.
Oh, I didn't. Man,
what's your faith in that, Big? Come on now. What's your faith?
I'm not saying there's faith in it. I'm just saying if you look at what they're doing, they brought those guys from those type of systems. Even Terrell Basham, he came from a 3-4 type concept. So it seems to me that they will be running that quite a bit in their defense to be able to flex in and out to kind of confuse offenses. They don't want to say the same and show the offense the same kind of looks. And I think they're trying to be multiple and confuse the offense and not get the offense get a beat on what they're doing every single play.
Do we need a space eater?
But then also, not to cut y'all balls, Cowboy, to Steele's point, Steele brings up a really good point about the 4-3 defense and the flexing back and forth. Is that if you use, and I know that Steele is really, really high on my guy to UCLA, Osa, right? He likes him a lot. Well, look,
down here.
Yeah, I know he ready to go. He waiting until he get his turn, right? He's like, I'm about to tear him up. But check it out. I mean, here's the deal. In a 4-3 defense, Osa is a 1-gap penetrating 3 technique all day long, right? And then he's a guy that can beat guards 1-on-1. He's shown that with his tape, right? I think he will get beat up a little bit his rookie year because he's a rookie, but I think that potential long term, you got that in him. Yeah. And then you got a space eater, right? You got a guy that can eat blocks out of Kentucky, and you got also Urban, which is a veteran guy that has shown he can eat blocks as well. So if you playing the under tackle and then you're over 3 technique tackle and then your 2 ends, boom, there you go with the 4-3, and that's how you mix up and use that personnel, just as an example.
Go ahead and give your 3 guys, man, until we get over to Sky.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna hurry up because Scott been waiting patiently.
Good.
Hurry up, man. I'm hurry up and get into this. All right, so real quick, my 3 guys are obviously Micah Parsons. All right, tremendous talent, high 4.3 guy, freak. I like him. Like I said, I've been yelling this for about 3 weeks. I would love to see him rush the passer a little bit. Like, please let him rush the passer and get some sack, man.
Yeah, you've been saying that.
Yeah, and so I think that he'll be awesome. He makes the defense faster. He makes you better day one. All right, so number two is Jabril Cox. I think that he gives you a lot of flex in terms of pass coverage. I think that this is just my gut. Okay, this is my gut. My gut is that he'll develop and pick up his game in the run game faster than people think. I think he'll compete for a lot of time, and it's fair competition. It puts pressure on our current linebackers, LVE and Jalen, to step up and play their best football, because we also signed, and not that he will make the team, but we also brought in another guy from A&M, linebacker into camp as well, which was a good solid linebacker in college. So I love that pick for those reasons. Number 3 is Semi Fioka from Stanford University. I think that he is fabulous. You can use him in the slot, you can use him at the X, you can use him at the Y. There's no position that he cannot play, and he wins on route, he gets separation, and he has great hands, so he can high point the ball. He's physical and he blocks. I think he's a steal, and I think that by mid-season, if they give him a chance and don't politic him, okay, that's a big if they give him a solid reps and don't politic him, I see him beating somebody out.
They could put him at gunner.
That's where he definitely should make the team, but I don't really see a big role offensively for him. I mean, how? Where is he fitting that? But he has sweet feet, though. I was so surprised.
He would have to take Noah's spot.
Exactly.
And Noah's spot is what? A gunner and a blocker at times, and he comes in somebody.
Only way he's going to get on the field is going to beat out Cedric Wilson.
It's going to have to be an injury. Let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? Somebody going to have to go down. But that's not a bad thing. We're not looking for Simi to come in.
He might ball. He might.
I feel good about him. I feel good about it, but I'm being realistic. Yeah. He's not gonna see targets over CD Lamb, Mari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Darwin, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. That's 7 people above him just in the pecking order. So what I'm saying is, love the talent, but this is more of a future thing. So I'm afraid I'm not trying to cut him, because I'm afraid if we try to let's sneak him on a practice squad, somebody gonna snatch him up. So either you go 6 wide, or you see if he could beat out Cedric or Noah Brown. And I think he could.
Cedric and Noah got a lot of reps when you add them up. You know what I mean? So when you add them up together, so like obviously both of them made some plays. So if he substituted his reps and became a developmental fourth and just kind of watched him out, they already done stripped Wilson of his number, man. You know,
you got to look at it like this, though, boss. You got to look at it like this. Gallup, I don't think is going to be returning next year, so they could be sitting there thinking, "Hey, let's get him some development, and then if Gallup is gone, we got a big, fast receiver that can take his spot and move him right on in."
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You guys got to know this too, though. The battle between when it's time to make the team, how many DBs you go with versus how many wide receivers you go with, and they are very interchangeable with special teams.
They ain't gonna let him go.
Deciding factor.
He ain't going nowhere.
If he shows out in preseason and camp, they can't cut him. So you just carry 6, or if he beats out Noah and saying, this is what I've been telling people on Twitter, right? Is that everybody loves Simi. But let's not just automatically think that dudes like Noah and Cedric Wilson, who have been through the mud, been through the gutter with this team, have been at the bottom and then came to the top for them, right? And stuck around. Noah stuck around through a bunch of different receivers that they brought in to try to beat him, and they haven't beat him yet. So he's not going to just lay down. And he has something over all these guys that are fighting for a spot that none of them do. He has a sponsor, and his name is Bones. Bones is going to say, if you're going to cut this man, you better give me somebody that can play special teams just like him, because that's a vital part of this team. Our special teams went from one of the worst to one of the better special team units in the league, believe it or not. I know the fake punts and everything, but statistically speaking, we're like a top 10 special teams unit. So, I think Semi can do it, but if it's me, if I'm betting man right now, who do you think he could beat? I think it should be Ced. I don't view Ced as a special teams guy. I know he can give you receiver reps, but I think I can get more explosion out of Simi than Cedric Wilson. And I like Cedric Wilson, right? I like him. Yeah. But if I'm trying to do what James said, let me see if I can sneak let me see if I can sneak 100 snaps for Semi this year. So when Gallup goes, at least he was on the field with Dak Prescott. At least he knows, tense situations or what have you. So if that's the route I'm going to go, I think I would let go of Ced, bring in Semi.
Can Semi do punt returns? Because I believe Cedric is
you got punt returns, man. You got punt returns. Just go down there and tackle somebody on special teams.
Who's your 3, Sky?
My 3 actually almost echoes James. The first one is Parsons. And I'm going to remove my bias of Parsons and the hometown thing and the family and all that.
Party down, P-Town.
just a player, man. Like, if I felt like me, Boss, and OC were the only ones excited for that pick. like we threw a damn party when Parsons got picked because one of the things that is not being said enough about him, and when anybody that tries to throw, well, he's a linebacker at me, I'm gonna tell you this: the same way y'all try to not box, what's the tight end's name? Kyle Pitts, right?
Right.
Kyle Pitts is not just a tight end, right? He's a playmaker. That's what you need to say about Parsons. Parsons is a playmaker. He's not just a linebacker. You know who is just a linebacker? Jalen Smith. You know who is just a linebacker? LVE when he ain't right. You know who's just a linebacker? Joe Thomas. Those are just linebackers.
Preach.
Micah Parsons makes plays. If you don't believe me, go put on the 2019 tape. They try to say, oh, well, they blitz him all the time. And he's making a play. He's not just blitzing and running by people, right?
Yeah, you see stuff, man. Balance.
6'3", 246, runs a 4.36. That's not normal stuff.
Smooth.
Okay, I'm getting passionate about this because I'm tired of the slander that Micah Parsons gets because he's a linebacker. No, Micah's a playmaker. And y'all keep thinking that this man don't got it up here. It's goofy to me. Absolutely silly to me. He has it up here. He was a running back and a running back and a defensive end his entire career. Went to Penn State, 2 seasons, became a top linebacker in the nation.
Yep.
You don't do that unless you know what you're doing. So what makes you think 2 years from now this man won't be able to learn more with more experience and be a complete linebacker? He has the tools. You mean to tell me at 6'3", 246, runs a 4.3, he can't learn to cover?
Right.
Stop it. Just stop it. So I'm going to get off my high horse on Parsons. The dude's a playmaker. I think he's going to come in day one, like OC said, and have an impact. Enough impact to make your defense top 10? No, you need more than one player. But his impact going to be felt more than any of our linebackers the last 2 years.
Who do you comp them as, or with, or whatever?
I don't really have one. If anybody, and listen, y'all can kill me if y'all want to kill me. Kill me if you want to kill me.
Just preface your statement, Dick.
Say it.
I'm going to say it.
Say it.
Willis.
Patrick
Willis.
Okay.
From the 49ers.
I'm not mad at that.
That is my comp for Michael Parsons, fam.
I'm not mad at that.
A strong, physical, I think Parsons is going to be well-rounded linebacker tackling machine. People forget he had over 100 tackles in 2019, his second year at the position. What are we talking about here, man?
Hey, real quick, man.
82 as a freshman,
dude.
Real quick, I gotta say this. I love the fact that he came out on the press conference with an LT earring on. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
You be watching everything, man.
Man, because I get it. I saw the symbolism, brother, and I get it. See, he takes pride in linebacker, y'all. He got mentors that are just all world linebackers, and he playing for the team he grew up loving in the enemy territory. You gotta remember, Skywalker and him are in enemy territory.
Two ways, Pittsburgh and Philly.
Yeah. So when you grow up, you gotta be cowboy. So we get everything is.
And in closing, as my Uncle Charles would say, in closing on Micah Parsons, because I went too long with him. Cowboys Nation wanted a dog, you got one. Cowboys Nation wanted somebody to help stop the run. You got the best one at linebacker in the draft. Cowboys Nation wanted to get one of the best, if not the best defenders in the draft. You got one. Check, mate. All right, number 2. Number 2 is old Diggy Zua, a.k.a. Diggy. You know what I mean? Can you know what I'm saying? Diggy, at first, and they'll attest to this. I was like, I like the player, but what the hell are we going to do with this man? Because we got 3 techs. We got Tristan Hill.
Exactly.
We got Neville Gallimore.
Preach.
So what the hell are we going to do?
Man.
So we were like, we don't like the pick. But I told people, I said, yo, don't hold us to this.
Right.
Let us see what happens here. And what ended up happening is, one, I went back and watched more of Odigizua. And two, I listened to what Dan Quinn said about him. He said, and this is what made me feel really good. He said Odigizua was going to come in. His role this year is going to be a nickel defensive tackle pass rusher. Okay, so that means he's going to see the field a lot, y'all. Which shows to me somebody's in trouble. I thought it was Hill, but as Big James, talked about, it may have been Woods because Woods got cut. And when you look at him, I know he only 290, man, but bruh played up and down that line, 5 tech, 0, 1, and 3. And he held up well at all of them. Now, I didn't like him at the 5 that much because he doesn't have a lot of pass rush moves. He really has one move. It's the dip the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? And the rip. That's really much it. But when he's on the inside, he's a terror for offensive linemen. He is too quick. And his length is too long, and he can get in the backfield. I hardly ever saw him get pushed back unless it was 2 people pushing him back. And that's a thing that's going around right now. But I said, let me go watch it. I swear I'm not lying to y'all. I did not see this man get put on his ass much at all. He's usually in the backfield one way or another. And he's not a bull in a china shop like Tristan Hill. Tristan Hill he has 1 speed.
Right.
He got better with it last year, but he got 1 speed. Diggy don't. Diggy, I think, is well-rounded. He just isn't a big dude. That's really much it. So he'll play a little 5, but I hope they use him as a nickel this year, and I think he'll be pretty decent. And then my third one is Benny Bohanna. No one's talking about Benny Bohanna, and everyone's saying, Woods being cut. Woods might have been cut because we got a 6'4", 330-pound fat boy to put down there finally. The first time we drafted him. 350. So he's a big boy.
350. He ain't 330.
First time we drafted a guy over 320 since 2001. Okay, and then what happens 3 days later? They cut Antoine Woods. I think Benny Bohanna is going to have a role this year, and it's going to be on 3rd and 4th and short and goal line. No more rolling out Tyron Crawford in the middle. They're going to roll out big 350, and hopefully the run fits are better, but I think he has a path to have a role this year. So those are my 3: Parsons, Diggy, and the sleeper Benny Bohanna Bohanna.
I do have a question that I have to ask.
I need to go ahead.
How many centers are Landon Dickerson in the league?
Probably about 5 or 6.
I don't know.
Okay,
Probably about 5 or 6, boss guy.
All right, thank you.
It's not that many.
I feel better. I feel better because I was really curious about that, and I figured somebody would know.
Landon Dickerson is a Pro Bowler if he's healthy.
He's one of him.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he got
to the Eagles, right?
Yes, he got drafted by the Eagles. Yes, and he slid because he had the ACL. He had
late ACL.
Yeah,
they won. Yeah.
I was just curious because he lost that matchup, but he stay on the ground a lot. I think it's gonna take him by year 2, year 3.
It normally takes.
I don't view him as a starter, but he definitely has a role. I mean, you're going to throw him in. You have to. You need big bodies. You can't be on 3rd and 1 and you're rolling out a 298-pound defensive tackle all the time. That's just not smart.
Right.
Man, you make sense. You make good sense.
If he got 1 play in him, then that's gonna be it.
All he needs is like 4. I mean, if it's 3rd and 1 and goal line, I don't need Benny to be out.
I'm with you.
I don't need Bohanna to be out there, but
if you look at Dan Quinn, like I said, if you looked at him since he's been a defensive coordinator, whether he's been a defensive coordinator or just been a defensive line coach, there's always 2 defensive tackles that he always drafts, and one is always above 330, a big fat boy, and he gets one guy that's around 300, 305 that can rush the passer, and there's one guy that can be a stopper. And if you go through it, he does it every single year. He gets at least 2. And he stayed true to it again. He got one big boy, and he got one guy that can split those gaps and rush that pass and put pressure, and one guy that can stop that run and keep those linebackers clean for him so he can make plays and do blitzes. So hopefully that concept works and we can see it work, because like y'all said, with Micah Parsons, he can at least get 5 sacks his rookie year. He really, really can.
I'll add on to the Odigizua. There is a comp. Not necessarily by the model, but just kind of what's happening here. In Atlanta, people forget Dan Quinn drafted another kind of what are we going to do here with this 3-tech / he played up and down the line / Grady Jarrett for Clemson. He was drafted in the 5th round, and he developed Grady Jarrett into one of the best interior defensive linemen in the National Football League. Now he gets a guy that has, in my opinion, probably comes in with a little bit more talent than Grady. He just doesn't have that 300-pound frame.
Don't have the power.
Right, but he has tools to work with. And James just said it. Get me a guy that could push the pocket, or, rush the passer, and get me a big guy. Odigizua is one of the best pass rushing statistically defensive tackles in this draft. He just happens to not have that frame like a Christian Barmore. So they're going to slide. And if teams viewed him as a 5 tech, you're really going to slide. You're not drafting, unless you're Chris Jones, right? And even Chris Jones is more better inside. So, Grady Jarrett, 5th round, developed into a really good DT. Dan Quinn gets his hand on another, mid-rounder. See what happens.
Man, what are y'all thoughts on Dan Quinn, man? Anybody go first, man?
Fired up. I'm fired up.
Well, I'm gonna go first. Me and Boss had talked about it where, we have been going back and forth with, Dan Quinn. I knew he was gonna be the hire. I just knew he was gonna be the hire. And I ain't gonna lie, in the beginning, I felt softness, maybe because you was with Atlanta. I felt Atlanta just soft. They were losing every damn thing, so I just felt like soft. You feel me? So I kind of did the label, but you got to continue to watch things and look at things and continue to observe things. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that press conference changed a lot of my feeling about a lot of things. That press conference just changed a lot. You know what I mean? Because I just look at the Mike Nolan press conference and it was, we're going to do this. I'm happy to be here with Dallas and, we got a plan. I didn't hear that from Dan Quinn. I heard assertiveness. I heard a plan. I heard somebody who understood what was going on, what he was already trying to do, what he was trying to accomplish, the players that he was trying to put in positions. When they asked him questions, he answered them with authority and he didn't sit there and wait. There wasn't no hesitation in what he was doing. And I just feel like, once again, I had talked about maybe sometimes you're better when you can focus on one thing. You don't have to be the head coach. You go back to being a defensive coordinator and just focus on that and being great in that. And so that's why I think it's really going to help. And I feel like he preaches the family. I feel like he preaches locker room. I feel like he preaches closeness. And I feel like that was a disconnect with Mike Nolan. And it does matter with players when they connect with the coach. And I feel like they can connect with the coach, and he's a very hands-on type of guy. And I feel like the Cowboys need that hands-on type of guy. They need that guy to get in their ass and to jump on, excuse my language, to get up on them and do those type of things in that nature. So, just listen to him. I saw a night and day between him and Mike Nolan. So yes, I'm not sitting there going for all the foo-foo, but I am telling you, I am a little bit more. I got the Grinch smile.
well, listen, Dan Quinn is like that girlfriend that knows she messed up real bad and you gave her a second chance. Dan Quinn is coming in the house, cooking, cleaning, making sure everything is taken care of, making sure you good, making sure everything is perfect, because this is his second lease on life. He got fired as a head coach and immediately gets the DC job with the Dallas Cowboys. And so this is a man that's coaching and actually going to coach these guys with urgency. He's coaching with like a certainty that I have to make this work, and he's fighting. He's giving everything he got. You can tell from the press conference and from some of these moves that he's giving his absolute best to make this a good defense. And here's the thing that I really do like about Dan Quinn and what has went on with this draft and his fingerprints all over it in terms of the defensive players is that Dan Quinn is creating healthy competition. I love that. All these draft picks create a form of healthy competition, and that's something we hadn't seen in Dallas Cowboys defense in the locker room really for a real long time. So that's going to push the team to be more competitive and to be a lot better.
No doubt, man. Boss, what you got, man?
When it comes to Ken, I'm still like buyers beware a little bit, because talk is cheap, and then your track record and historical track record, you was known. I don't care what nobody say it wasn't your D and all that kind of stuff. I ain't buying that. Not when
pause. You going all the way back to the Waffle House conversation, man. You and Big Game James. Remember that conversation? I believe you were Big Game James. You were talking about.
We didn't even have this one yet. We didn't even have this one yet, but I was just saying, like, it's one of those things to where he is doing some things that I like. Though. Okay. So it's one of those things that I'm not like praising him yet. I gotta see you kind of get that bad taste out your mouth, just like I did from last year. Like everybody gotta watch that bad performance out and that bad D out. Everybody, including him, because your guys was known as comeback city. Now, come on now. So it's like I'm gonna sit back and chill, but at the same time, I do like that he has a type. That's my point too. He has a type. We've been out. Everybody, Dallas need dogs. Dallas need dogs. You shouldn't say that for the next 10 years now. Because 10 years, you can't say that for 10 more years. Because this year, they almost got too many dogs. You got a god.
Pound.
This is a pound. This is a man. Yeah, so he got a type. And he went out there and he enforced his type. I'm also say Al Harris is getting on my nerves a little bit. I'm just being all the way honest.
What do you say now?
It's because he is still obviously beating the drum for a type of range and corner. And Will McClay has to go kind of fill that order, right? And sometimes you kind of trying to scrape from the from the buffet and they need to refill it. And you got something that's over here that's fully stocked and fresh and smoke coming out of it. And you don't want to come dip it where it's a big old fat spoon and just have your plate full, and it's one of those things to where I'm going to say he should be on the hot seat if these balls don't come around.
Let's be real. You talking about Nashawn Wright pick.
I'm talking about all the picks because all the corners are big. I'm cool, obviously, with Boss Man because he.
I'm about to say Boss Man.
No, I'm cool with Boss Man. I'm talking about the rest of them, especially when you go down to Israel and you pick a corner, say you go put him at safety.
Well, he going to safety, so he's not even the corner.
But it's these types. Like, what about the people that make plays? We did the types last year, and they couldn't get the small guys off the field. Anthony Brown was small. He was playing when he was healthy. Lewis was playing when he was healthy. Then Savion was playing in front of Western and all them tall boys. So I'm waiting on the tall theory to manifest. Can we start focusing on players?
Let me tell you before Al Harris, though. But Al Harris did say he wanted tall, long corners, so he did.
And they drafted like that.
He probably
brought in players like
them guys.
Yeah, but Dan Quinn likes them too, though.
Yeah,
but I
let me
think
say
it's
this
more
quick,
Al
bro.
Harris though big because if you go look at the Atlanta guys, they wasn't big like that.
No doubt. And that's probably why he said, look, let me get some guys that I can work with. Nashawn White had 5 interceptions in 16 games. I'm looking at the stats. And Israel Kid had 7 interceptions in 22 games. And Kelvin Joseph had 4 interceptions in 15 games.
Can we just draft a safety? So we got to convert every corner to dance. I mean, this is my thing with that, okay? This is my frustration with that, okay? I get it. It's every time y'all draft after the 4th round and y'all get a corner, y'all instantly want to be the smartest guy in the daggone room and say, we're going to convert him to safety. We already have a plan for him. Man, dogs, can you just let these guys just play corner and be great at that? And y'all just actually draft a daggone safety who actually played the position 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9
in the
years
first round
and actually knows it. And then you can just do that and let those cornerbacks be corners.
Shoot, they took a 1st round pick and put him at safety.
And that was my 4th point, big. That was my thank you. That was my 4th point.
Draft a damn safety.
Draft a damn safety.
Just draft a safety.
We political at safety.
I'm really trying not to have it come back up, y'all. I'm trying to keep it.
Okay. All right.
It's not you. It's already had a whole tangent on safety.
No, I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
It's just things that I'm keeping my eyes on, though. So, because I'm not trying to drink the Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? I'm keeping my eyes on that because safety's still lean now. I'm looking at it. It's like, you got
because you converting it's an experiment. It's nothing true. It's nothing factual. It's nothing just in stone. It's like I don't like that because that's an experiment that can just blow up in your face and then what?
It's ignored.
It did what? It's
just ignored. I'm not even. I like the thought of Israel Mukuamu, I believe that's how you say his name. I like the thought of it because I'm one of those, I like big safety types and all that stuff. He was a corner moving back. Sounds great. But as they would tell you during a draft show, I was waiting for them to break the curse. And the curse is they haven't drafted a safety in the top 100 since 2012. And they had multiple opportunities to do it. And once we got into the 5th round, after we got into the 4th round, they didn't do it. I didn't care what the hell they did at the position anymore. I truly didn't because even if they drafted a guy in the 5th round, they did draft one in the 7th or 6th, whatever round it was. Who's to say he gonna see the damn field for a year or two anyway? And, you know what I'm saying? And we've seen this before. Yes, they look like they hit on Donovan Wilson. Yes, they technically hit on what's his name, Xavier Woods, technically, right? But I hope Dono was a beast. Now I'm gonna be a beast for a long time. But again, you're hoping, you're getting lucky. You know what I'm saying? You hoping that a 6th round pick turns into a perennial starter, like Woods did, and Woods flamed out. So just stop playing. Just go get your safety.
You went on your Darius Washington train.
I wasn't until we had no choice. Just get me something. Yeah. I'm not into no 5'8" safety. But at that point, I was like, dog, he can cover. Just go get him. We're in the 5th round.
Right. He just get him. He just there. It's okay. Just nab him.
Like, what are we doing? Go get the dude who actually plays a position that played it well and not the cornerback.
Right, that's what he was.
To get me there.
Version of he's 6'4", he's big, he's 6'4", and he could be a great safety because he's 6'4", 200 something. Like, come on, y'all need it. Y'all better. We not falling for that. So stop it, guys.
And like Kazi just swole or something. Like,
hey, you remember Kings of Comedy? And said we live by a different creed. The other people live by a hope creed. Right. They hope nobody is sitting in their seat when they get to the concert. They hope that if they are, they'll nicely leave up. We wish Wood be sitting in our seat. That's what I hope. I wish Wood try to take my safety. I'm going to go get him. They hoping that this 6th round safety can become Darren Woodson. Stop this hope creed. Stop it.
Man.
And the fam says it's not going to happen.
As we approach the final 10 minutes, man, of the show, really appreciate everybody for joining in on this panel here, man. Any final thoughts from you guys? Where y'all want me to start from now? Sky all the way down or from Boss, man? Which way y'all want to go? It's y'all choice.
Up to you guys, man.
Go ahead.
I can start out with.
Big Game James, you can go ahead with it then. Go ahead with it. Final thoughts, man.
I had to do it one time for the one time.
Go ahead with it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I just want the Cowboys to know I'm not falling for the foo-foo. Just so y'all know I'm not falling for it. But I am.
I thought you was.
I'm not falling for it, but I am happy. I got a Grinch smile. So, if you got a Grinch smile at me, I'm thinking some things could be better. I think the main thing I want to give, I like the way Quinn presented itself. I think that's what made me feel a little better about what's going on, the way Quinn presented itself. And I really just intrigued now to see how he's going to do the defense. I'm intrigued now. I really want to see how he's going to put this product. I have a little bit more of an urge to see something than when I was with Mike Nolan. It was kind of like, I was just ready for a breath of fresh air, so I ain't care what the hell he did. You get what I'm saying? But now it's like, let me just see. But I feel like there's a good direction with Quinn. I'm not really looking at the offense because I feel like the offense is going to do its thing. I'm not concerned about the offense, but I really want to see how Quinn is going to put this together. And I like the initial part of it, and we'll see from there. So that's kind of my thought about it. But as far as everything else, Stephen Jones, he's still the same way. He's still going to the Chiefs side. He's still doing his thing. And I think, in my opinion, my last thought on it, that he's trying to make himself look like the smartest guy so everybody can come back and say, let's do it the Stephen Jones way. He didn't spend no money and he got to a Super Bowl, didn't spend no money on the cap and was conservative. We're going to do it that way. He want to be able to say that. He do. Yes, he do. Yeah, he do. So, you know what I mean?
Cheap, bro.
Yeah, he want to be able to say, I did it this way. So I did it Julius way and we won. And so I think he just out to prove that. So we'll see.
Good stuff, man. DOC, what's the final words for you, man?
Yeah, man. I think that this is kind of the new car smell type defense. You know what I mean? You know that the car will smell good, at least for a little while, right? We don't know how it's going to smell when it gets to 20,000 miles, but it'll smell good at least for a little while. So I think this gives the fan base hope. I think that it inspires young players. He got a whole bunch of young guys that he can indoctrinate. When you work with certain companies, man, they only hire certain people within certain age groups because they want to be able to train, indoctrinate, and develop those guys with their own thought, strategies, and concepts. And so Quinn has the opportunity to do that with a lot of these young guys on the defense. And I think he will inspire some of the old guys. So I don't believe Dallas Cowboys defense will be dead last. I believe it'll be a middle of the road type defense this year. Maybe a little bit better, but middle of the road. And I think that middle of the road defense gives us a chance to win in the NFC East, bearing injury to key figures on our team. So, hey, I'm looking forward to the ride and seeing how it goes, man. Overall, I give this draft probably a B. I'll give it a B, a solid B. A solid B, not a B plus, not a B minus, just a B. And so I'm looking forward to see what we get into as we get into the preseason, and then we get into unfold more of the strategies and really the mind of the defensive coordinators as they kind of put this thing together.
No doubt, man. Good stuff, man.
I
Bones Cowboy,
go.
man. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, gave me some time to take a couple of notes. And one thing I said, Stephen Jones is the Belichick of the salary cap. Yeah, he's a Belichick. Yeah, he's the best saving guy out of everybody. He's the best at it. If you could win a Super Bowl with salary cap, he would be the Belichick of it.
Cat boy. Yeah, that's me.
That's him. And that's him. And he's playing a game because of it that's starting to get dangerous. Like to actually look at defensive tackles decreasing with Woods and going with a lot of younger players is very risky, especially being 31st. Right. So it's one of those, and I'm just being all the way honest with everybody. It makes me say, and I thought about it this morning in the shower, and I was having a moment with God, and God was like, Marcus, not even Boss Cowboy, Marcus, Urban is important to the Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, yeah.
Urban, like
so
everybody
say, run defender on the team, even with Woods there.
Say your prayers, because if he goes down, it's a major domino effect of us not being able to stop the run. It definitely says that we should be shopping still for another guy. I am going into free agency looking. And when I find some, and if I find some, I'm going to do film sessions and try to put the word out on this second wave of free agency, because that's a big liability sitting in the middle. We are top 18 on paper. Right. And I feel like we can get hot and go to a Super Bowl with what we got right now. I really do. We can get hot, but then on paper, we like 11-17, but we can get hot. Like if this offense stay healthy, right? Oh my Lord, right? And last, because and mainly, which we not talking about enough, the upside of Dak getting paid, that monkey off his back. That's why I'm rocking for today, because I mean it with all my heart, man. Dak being free, Dak not having to play with no weight, Dak really leading this team. Dak is known as the man. That's gonna carry a lot of bumps that would take out a normal team. So I'm very upside, even though I had my critiques. I'm very upside on what we can do.
No doubt, man. That sounds some good stuff. Last but not least, Skywalker Steel with the new feel. What's your
I think this defense can have a makeover for the future. And I think it relies on three players. And ironically, it's the top 3 picks. And the reason why I say that is because all 3 of those players have some dog in them, and they have a lot of talent in them. And here's the most important factor. They play at each level of the defense. D-line, middle linebacker, cornerback. And we needed an attitude change and a talent influx at every single last one of those positions. And all 3 of them do what? They made plays. Granted, KJ didn't play a lot. 4 interceptions. You said it. 4 interceptions in what? 12 games? Something like that. We know about Micah Parsons making plays, and Odigizua, if he would have been able to play without the COVID thing going on last year, I think he might end up being a second-round pick due to his production. Okay, he was a very productive player his last 2 years at UCLA. When you look at the sacks and the tackles for loss and the pressures, he was productive. So if we can hit on those top 3, I'm gonna be real with you. If those 3 can just hit, I don't care what happens behind them, because the entire attitude of the defense will change. And that's something we haven't had click on at the same time. Think about it. We have not had an interior defensive lineman click with a balling middle linebacker, with a balling cornerback, all at the same time. And if we can get that to happen in the next 3 years, fellas, with this offense, now we're talking about a Super Bowl team. Yeah, I know that we're optimistic, but I have a hard time saying Super Bowl yet until I see this defense become A, opportunistic, okay, and B, clutch. Yeah, we had no matter. Everyone wants to say they were top 10 in 2018, or they were this and that. Whatever, numbers are numbers. I don't give a damn about that. Did you make the stop when you needed to, and did you get the turnover for your offense? I don't care if you're 21st in yards. If you're 5th in turnovers, and then you make clutch stops, you'll be in the Super Bowl. Ask Tampa. Ask New Orleans back in 2009. Ask a lot of these teams that rank middling in yards, unless you're a dominant defense. But we talked about this, fellas. We don't need a dominant defense. I just need my defense to be clutch and make turnovers. And I think those 3 guys, if we hit, can help you do that. And now we're talking about being the Packers for a decade, being, you know what I'm saying, one of these teams that are always in it. So I'll give Dan a chance, but it's wait and see, obviously. But his press conference really got me excited because he sounds very sure of himself. You could tell he's not scared to talk in public as opposed to some of the other coaches. Love Mike McCarthy, the person, but that man can't speak for shit during the press conference. But Dan Quinn gave me some confidence in the sense of, all right, cool, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
Good final thoughts there, man. Hey, man, this was good, man. Hey, whoever ended this, man, we could just put a Super Bowl by each of our pitchers, man, because it's 5 of us, and maybe we put another Super Bowl just floating somewhere out there, right?
Right there in that middle for 6.
I was about to say, put that trophy right there in that middle.
Right there.
Ooh-wee. So
that's a yoga flame.
Quest for 6. That's what you call this. Quest for 6.
Quest for 6. All right. So the OC and Boss Cowboy, man, tell everybody, man, where they can find and follow y'all good content. Oh, I'm sorry. Great content.
Thank you, man. You can follow us at Boss Cowboy Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, please don't forget to support us. If you want to, you can support us via Cash App, $ Boss Cowboy Sports, $ Boss Cowboy Sports.
No doubt. Big Game James, man. Let everybody know where to find you at, man.
Hey, OC speaks so professional. I gotta make sure I step up and speak real good on this.
OC's very well spoken. He's very well spoken.
He spoke. I'm like, okay, get yourself together when you talk. All right. So, Big Game James, Silver and Blue Nation. Check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and then you can also check me out on the YouTube channel. And my Cash App name is BGJDC4L. If you'd like to do that as well.
Oh, wow.
Peace. All right, Skywalker, man, tell everybody what you're doing and where they can find and follow your great content.
You can follow me on YouTube. Well, follow me. You can subscribe on YouTube, right? Dallas Cowboys Network channel. And then definitely follow me on Twitter, man. I'll be firing off takes on Twitter. I have fun on there, man. I love the Twitter machine. At Skywalker still on Twitter. If you want to engage every day with me, you can do that. Thank you for having me on here, man. This was a blast. We got to do this again.
Definitely.
Let's go. Especially we going to the Super Bowl, baby.
Okay.
Y'all already know.
We at least
man.
go to training camp.
Yeah, you go be. Hey,
Now we going to the Super Bowl. Law, no, I'm with you, Law. Let's say it, Law.
You know
Let's
what?
say it.
Go ahead, boss.
Micah said, words have power.
Yes, we
So he manifested his way into Dallas. Can we manifest our way into a Super Bowl?
Man, it's magic, man. It's magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
magic.
man.
I just got
Alrighty.
with you on that, Law. I just felt that.
Ooh, yeah. Y'all be sure to follow everybody content, man. Like, subscribe, and let a friend, neighbor, foe know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboy Sports Talk and Beyond. My name is Law Nation, and this is the wonderful panel. Let's continue to grind and shine, baby. We
I
are
want me some
out.
glory hole.
Let's go. Let's go. Salute.
Hey.
Peace.